And welcome in, everyone, to another edition of the Sick Podcast Rocket Report. And things are looking gloomy today in Laval as the Rocket fall 0-2 in their series against the Charlotte Checkers in the Eastern Conference Finals. A 5-2 loss yesterday in Laval, and a whole lot happened in the game, even before the game. So we're going to talk about all of that right here, right now.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. Rocket Report.
That's it!
The sickest Laval Rocket podcast. It's gonna be sick.
That's right. Producer Shane here, joined as always by the voice of your Laval Rocket on BPM Sport, Anthony Marcotte. Anthony, first and foremost, I got to thank you for the invite yesterday. I had a blast in the booth with yourself and Vincent Demuy. It was a lot of fun, even though the game wasn't as fun. But how's it going today?
Good. Tough to swallow, though. I don't think the series is what we all expected. I thought it would be much tighter, at
Yeah.
least 1-1 going to Charlotte, but we're on the back foot now, and trying to come back in this series will be a tough ask. But hey, it happens on the ice, so you find somewhere when your back is against the wall, you find ways to come back stronger. But it's too bad the way that things evolved last night. I thought the Rocket had a good start, but
Yeah.
then it spiraled a little bit out of control afterwards.
Absolutely. No, that's it. We'll break it all down, and we'll even talk about what happened before the game. But before we do that, I got to send out a big thank you to our partners over at Betway that make this show possible. And yes, you can go all the way with Betway and get a free bet up to $200 if your first bet loses. You can scan that QR code on the screen or click on the link in the details section to create an account and redeem your welcome offer. Now, the offer is only available for new customers. Terms and conditions apply. The offer is not available in Ontario. You must be 18 years or older. Please play responsibly. Anthony, I think we have to start with the warm-ups because the warm-ups were eventful yesterday. There was a little bit of a discussion mid-ice, and what led to that was Oliver Okuliar getting onto the ice, slashed Primo behind the knee there as he got on the ice, and that caught the attention of notably Xavier Simoneau and Logan Mailloux, who had a bit of a discussion at center ice with a lot of the players, which set the tone for the game because it was a very physical game. Do you think that kind of got them off balance in any way? Like, how do you think that impacted the game, if at all?
Well, those things don't happen a lot, especially in the playoffs. There was a lot of stuff going on during that warm up. I don't think I saw it all actually. Like you said, Okuliar when he stepped on the ice, just to tell the people, like Caden Primo always, like all the goaltenders, they do the same routine. Stepped into the ice and he was like stretching himself just besides the door where the opposing team gets on the ice. But when they step on the ice, they're in the Rocket territory.
Right.
And that's where Caden Primo is stretching itself just besides that door. And when Okuliar stepped on the ice, he saw Primo and he slashed him. Not too violently, but a good slash behind the knee, like you said.
Yeah.
And then probably, I don't think everyone saw it right from the get-go. It took a few minutes. And probably Primo told a few of his teammates, and then there was that kind of a scene at center ice involving a lot of players. On the other side, there was Trevor Carrick, Mackenzie Entwistle, Okuliar was there as well. Ben Steves too. And on the other side, Simoneau, obviously, with Logan Mailloux and Zach Hayes, a few other players. But, well, it's easy to say after a 5-2 result that what happened before the game during the warm-up had an influence on it. But it's been that kind of beginning of a series where the Rocket, for whatever reason, is falling into a trap, and they don't see any opportunity to get out of it. They're an experienced team, no doubt. They're playing sound defensively. They don't give you a lot of chances, especially in the slot. They've been a really dangerous team when they're playing on the PK. They've been shutting the Rocket down, and it's been the case all series as of yet. So didn't appreciate the way like the thing went. For it's been 3 games now in 4 games in Laval where there's nobody left on the bench at the end of the game. It isn't a good look. I don't think it's the Rocket identity. It's a head scratcher for me. I think we're a much more disciplined hockey team, but for now, there's a lot of disappointment in that dressing room because they thought they were the better team before the series, and it's not happening right now.
No, that's it. But honestly, like you said, they were the better team to start the game, I thought.
Yes.
I was a little surprised in a sense, but at the same time, not really, because, like I said yesterday's show, they've accustomed us to these bounce back games. Right after a counter performance, they come back and they play a strong Rocket game, right? And it started off that way. I thought, everybody was involved, finishing their checks. They were harder on the puck carrier, not generating too many chances, but still, all like for the most part, dominating the checkers and holding on to the puck longer than they did. And then I don't know, they went back to game number one. Charlotte kind of just hung in there, and they brought them back to game number one. And I mean, the first goal, right, coming on the PK, Joshua Roy gets a 4-minute penalty for high sticking, and at the end, I mean, they almost killed all 4 minutes, but Trevor Carrick's shot gets through. I think it deflected.
It deflected. Yes. And I thought we played really good defensively.
They did. Yeah.
Because it was the Roy penalty. At the end of it, a 4-minute penalty, they scored. It was like just 50 seconds left on that 4 minute. But just before that Roy penalty, Engstrom was penalized as well. And they pretty much did nothing on their first power play. But if you had 3 straight penalties, it takes a toll on the players that are used to play there defensively, but they played it perfect until the end. They even blocked that shot, but it got deflected, and Primo didn't see it, and it beat him to the top of the net. So you're already behind by a goal. You need to come back in the second period, and then you get the call on your side. You have a few opportunities on the power play, and Logan Mailloux takes a decision that really bit him. I don't know what he actually tried. Going through the ozone, through the defense of the Checkers, they played it perfectly. Became a turnover, and that John Leonard breakaway. Beautiful deke, was able to score on Caden Primo, and it's 2-0, and that's the ball game. Right now, it's a fragile young hockey team that we've been seeing since the beginning of that series, and that the experience really is paying off on the Checkers side.
Big time. And like you mentioned, that second goal was the turning point of the game, because the Rocket was still in it, right? At the end of the first, they were still in it. They had overall a decent first period, but that second period was a complete mess. And it started with that second penalty kill goal in 2 games by, again, John Leonard. Credit to him. He's been really good. But no, that turnover by Mailloux there, that changed the game completely. And listen, it's unfortunate to see that from him, because we know he's capable of being one of, if not the best player on the ice. I mean, these playoffs, we've seen games where he takes over. Like, he can be dominant, and at the same time, he can single-handedly, well, maybe not single-handedly, but he can lose you games. I mean, these are the things that he still has to correct before making the jump to the NHL. Too often we see these kinds of plays go back the other way and ultimately end up in Laval's net. He did something similar again against the Americans as well, I remember. So it's really unfortunate, and we saw that he did not play in the third period. Now, Pascal Vincent said that he was unable to play which is interesting. I don't recall him getting injured, but hey, listen, I'll take the coach's word for what it is. But I mean, you and I both thought that he was benched, basically, right?
Yeah, that's what we thought at the beginning. I think it was a good question to ask the coach after the game. Uh, Pascal never flinched on it. He was really decisive in his answer that Mailloux is injured, and he got told by the trainer that he couldn't go. So that's why they decided to sit him in the third. It happens, but it doesn't happen a lot that a player, that an injured player stays on the bench and doesn't go to the clinic. So Mailloux was there at the beginning of the third, didn't step on the ice all throughout the third period. We thought he was benched because of that turnover and because that awful second period for all the defensemen. I thought we were completely out of it. The train fell off the track.
Mm.
They were a shell of themselves in the second. And then Primo allows a bad third goal, and then everything fell off afterwards. It's 3-4-0, and the game is over at that time. But is this a way for the team to protect Mailloux a little bit after that turnover? I don't know. I mean, and he can be injured. It might be the truth from the coach, but we've seen different things happen in the playoffs. Sometimes you wonder is it really the truth, or there's something hidden behind that they just want to shell the player, shield him just a little bit, because he's been pretty good since the beginning, but
Yeah.
as the playoff goes on, as the momentum picks up, as the importance of the game picks up, he's been in trouble. And last night is not what we are expecting from Mailloux.
No, exactly. And now, the Rocket go down 4-0, and they pull Caden Primo, let Jacob Fowler in the game. And as Jacob Fowler comes in the game, well, look at who shows up again. Oliver Okuliar, big tough boy with his full face on, slashes Fowler again. This time he actually gets a penalty, but you know what? Let's talk a little bit about the officiating, because there's a certain
the good thing is when we do podcasts, we can tell the truth.
Exactly.
Last night,
you're not going to get
Pascal
fined.
Vincent couldn't see it. I won't get fined if I tell the truth about what happened on the ice.
Yeah.
The coach really bit his tongue last night because I'm pretty sure was about to explode talking about the way the game was refereed last night. Before answering your first question, Shane, let me tell something that it's really important for me.
Go ahead.
I don't think officiating made a difference last night.
No.
The Checkers deserve to win. I don't want to take I don't know how to say it, but
discredit the Checkers.
That's right. I don't want to discredit their win. They deserved it for sure.
Exactly.
It's not the referees that decided the outcome. So, but there's a few things that happen that are mesmerizing at the least.
So there's a referee in particular that has a very poor track record, especially against the Laval Rocket, that being Morgan McPhee. And I really hate calling out the name, but at this point, we have to, Anthony, because it's 3 times now that I've counted, and I might be missing some, but it's at least 3 times that a game that he's officiated has gone completely off the rails and he's lost control. Their job is to police the game, to officiate, all right? To let these things happen, Okuliar slashing Fowler, right? He didn't let that happen. He got a penalty, but the hit on Dauphin that led to more of a scrum, right? It's just an accumulation that ultimately led to the end of the game where, once again, there was only a handful of players left on the Rocket bench. In total, the Charlotte Checkers got 48 penalty minutes, and the Laval Rocket got 68 penalty minutes. That's more than the entire game. I mean,
yeah, it's ridiculous.
Come on, like this. You can't tell me that the AHL didn't have a better referee available for yesterday's game. There's no way. There's no way. Come on.
Well, it all happened in front of Scott Howson's eyes. The AHL commissioner was there for the two games.
Ugh.
There's the referee supervisor that is there as well. And you're right. It happened earlier on in December against the Belleville Senators.
I was
A
there in
two,
attendance. Yeah,
yeah, a
I
2-1
saw it.
game. Not an high octane affair, a tight hockey game. But the referees, I mean, it was ridiculous that night. And it all started on that day. I think, I don't know if I remember it correctly, but I think the Rocket defended themselves three times in the game, 5-on-3.
Yep.
It was stupid. And when you lose control of the game, it's not a good look. Our colleague from La Presse Canadienne, Simon Servant, is calling Morgan McPhee Mr. Macarena for the because he's calling game misconducts pretty much everyone. So
Yeah.
he's like that. Okay, another misconduct. Send him to the room. It's much easier for a referee to kick a guy out of the ice because you don't have any control of the game. So
Yeah.
it happened three times. So there's a history between the team and Morgan McPhee in particular. And most of the game misconducts at the end was some Rocket players furious, fuming at the bench, pretty much speaking the truth to the referee at the end. Like Xavier Simoneau, he was on the big screen, and everyone understood exactly what he told the referee, and it wasn't really a kind word.
No, no, I can imagine. But
Mr. Macarena.
Master Macarena, yeah. Well, we're gonna keep that for sure. But I
Yeah,
mean, look, I can't even begin to put myself in the player's shoes at that moment because you
it's
just
frustrating
don't
for sure.
you just don't know what's gonna happen. You
Yeah.
don't know which way this game is gonna go, and the likelihood of him losing control of the game is high. And yet again, he did. His partner wasn't that much better either. But again, this is a pattern we're seeing, and whether you like it or not, there's a precedent being set here between the Rocket and Morgan McPhee. So not only does the referee probably not like most of the players and the coach, but the players and the coach probably don't like him either. So that just snowballs into a mess. And that's what we saw yesterday. It was a mess. But yet again, I think it's important to highlight that the officiating did not alter the result of the game. The Rocket lost this game. They lost it, right? I don't think Charlotte won it, right? But really, the Rocket lost it because every mistake they made ended up costing them, right?
And
Now,
once again, Shane, if you take a look at the offensive chances, it's pretty much the same. Laval had the advantage even in the first game, and last night I think it was 11-10. Our friend Vincent Demuy is calculating each and every offensive chances, and it was 11-10 Laval last night.
yeah,
So it's been pretty much even, but they've been better in a few, well, in a lot of things, and it pays off on the stat sheet. But taking a look at the penalties from the Rockets since the beginning of the series, in 11 games, Florent
oh,
Jacquet, 55 penalty minutes. Simoneau in 8 games, 34 minutes. Kundada in 11, 34. Even Harvey Pinard, 26 penalty minutes in 11 games. He's one of the most disciplined players that I've ever seen in that jersey. 26 minutes in 11 games. Once and in that, 2 game misconducts. Mailloux, 26 minutes. Hoffenmeyer, after 4 games, he has 20 penalty minutes on his record. I mean, it's crazy. It's not a good look for everyone. And you can tell that it's a really, really frustrated team right now in that dressing room.
listen, I take part of the blame because one of the shows we did, I highlighted the good work of the officials. I thought that so far in the
And
playoffs,
since then, it's
they
been
had
pretty.
exactly since then it's been caca again, plain and simple.
Well,
Poo-poo. So
in 2 of those games, there's a common denominator. What can you tell it? What can you tell about that denominator? The same old Morgan McPhee, Mr.
Morgan
Macarena.
Macarena. Yeah.
It's unbelievable that this guy is refereeing in the NHL. He's a part-time referee in the AHL and in the NHL as well. So he's about to make a full-time step in the best hockey league in the world. It's completely mesmerizing.
Scary. Scary
It's
is the
scary.
word because already, we've said this before, but the NHL playoffs have been controversial to say the least in terms of officiating. And it's not going to get any better, folks. I'm sorry to tell you. And I guess Gary Bettman doesn't really care either because to his eyes, I mean, these are the best referees in the world, all sports combined. So whatever. We'll just get back to the game here because we could go off on a tangent for a very long time, and that's not what we're about. We're about the Rocket here. We're going to talk about the
Well,
Rocket,
it's fun to use the opportunity because the players and
of
the
course.
coaches they can't say anything,
We'll, we'll,
unfortunately for them.
we'll speak on their behalf, and yeah, I'm sure we echoed their sentiment fairly well today. But back to the game now. Listen, the team goes down 4-0. They pull Primo, bring in Fowler, and a little spark of life suddenly appears. Noah Offenmeyer gets a shot from the point, seeing eye, and it squeaks through. Capo Kakinen, we're 4-1 now, and that didn't last too long because the Rocket get back down 5-1. A weird play, soft little turnover by Reinbacher there, who overall I thought had a good game. He ends the game with a goal and an assist. He was one of the few, I guess, bright spots, but he had to get back to the mean of the team there, and little turnover to put the game away. Really, 5-1, it was over, and then Reinbacher does get a goal on the power play, so the Rocket were able to score on the power play. That I guess that's the only good thing there. But you know what? Let's focus in a little on Reinbacher because I thought defensively he overall, aside from that turnover, he's really good. Now in the O-zone, there's still things to work, right? He's still a young player, and I guess he doesn't trust himself just as much as he should just yet.
Yes.
Because yesterday we saw the full extent of his shot, and oh my goodness, I mean that thing is a rocket. If he starts to trust himself a little more, takes those opportunities, because at one point he had a wide open lane and he passed it to a guy that was covered, and again gets out of the zone. So, I mean, talk to me a little bit about Reinbacher, what he still needs to fix moving forward.
Yeah, well, I thought last night we would see him earlier on the power play. It pretty much stayed the same with Mailloux in the first power play unit and Engstrom on the second one. And then at the end of the game, where Mailloux was on the bench, they used Reinbacher. That's where he scored at the end of the game on the power play. Last night he had 4 shots on goal, a goal and an assist. I thought he was probably the best Laval player last night. Good performance for him. We talked with him after the game in the dressing room, and he talked like a veteran.
Mm-hmm.
He when he got asked about all those fisticuffs and shenanigans happening on the ice on the other side, they clearly have an approach where they want to, I don't know, disturb the opponent, and it's working for Charlotte right now. But Reinbacher looked calm and composed answering that question, and I don't think. Well, he's one of the only guys in that room right now that haven't been like taken off his game from the checkers since the beginning. So that's a good note for Reinbacher, I think. The way he's handling things physically, it's another good thing. He's been hit hard since the beginning of the playoffs. So if there was any single doubt about the way his knee is entering, I think there's no doubt right now. Um, he's been. I really liked what I saw from Reinbacher last night. The way he played the game wasn't an easy game to play in, especially when you're back from a couple of goals in the middle of the game. How can you stay collected and stay engaged in the play? Well, Reinbacher was one of those who was still competing to try to keep the light still open.
Exactly. No, I really enjoyed his game. Defensively, I thought he really was a standout in a game where not many stand it out defensively. Right. It was a
Yes.
tougher night in the office for all forwards and defensemen in their own zone. But Reinbacher was one of the few bright spots in that area. Rarely got débordé. Even I'm losing my English there, but he rarely got beat really one-on-one. He won his puck battles. He got the puck out of the zone, and he was physical. I mean, he was throwing some big checks, and that's a part of the Rockets game that I did enjoy yesterday. Is that you know what they let the checkers have it. I mean, they threw some heavy hits. Owen Beck, I mean, oh boy, that one hit he threw behind the net. I thought the other guy was done for the night. I mean, he crushed him.
Hoffenmeyer with 2 massive hits as well.
Oh yeah, there was a sandwich at one point. I mean, that's about the only thing that the Rocket fans could really sink their teeth into, because otherwise there wasn't a whole lot. But staying on the physical part of the game now, we saw some injuries yesterday. Laurent Dauphin went down. Xavier Simoneau looked banged up. I mean, at one point he was on the bench just hunched over. Like, their presence is uncertain moving forward now. You have 2 guys in the stands who could definitely take that role of, being a little more physical, that being Vincent Arsenault and Luke Tuck. I mean, I'm going to ask you, but I think I know your answer already. Do you bring him in next game if Dauphin and Simoneau aren't able to play?
Yeah, and I'm really looking forward to see what will be their decisions about the
Mhm.
way they use a couple of forwards on Sunday. I don't think Dauphin will play. I think it was almost knocked out cold
Oh,
on that hit for
so
Marek
bad.
Alscher. It was like a couple of feet from the end boards in front of the Charlotte bench. It was a massive hit. He fell down not in the ideal way. And once again, I don't want to add salt into the wound at that time, but it was 4-0. How are you not blowing the whistle? If there are 4 people on the ice that can blow the whistle, you call the whistle. It's not even a question. You need to take care of the injured player. I understand if it's a really tight game, a 1-1 game at the end of the third, and you have an offensive chance. Okay, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. But last night it's a 4-0 game. You won't blow the whistle. It's dangerous. And and then it adds fuel to the fire because there's no whistle. And what happened? Well, it was a another altercation behind Kakonen's net. And there was a lot of frustration, and then everything fell off for the Rocket. But once again, you need to take control of the game. I don't know what the referees were doing there. But with that said, I don't think it was a vicious kind of hit for Halsher. I don't think he really wanted to injure Dauphin. It was a bone crushing hit, no doubt. But the result is so disappointing. So if we lose Dauphin, it's a huge hole in this lineup.
Uh,
But I think it's the opportunity to bring Owen Beck at centering the first line. Try back there. I think he's worth a shot to play, probably with Farrell or Barry Boulay or Gignac or something. Bring him on an offensive line. And then what you should do, you bring Luke Chalk and Vincent Arsenault on the fourth line with Jack Eye centering the fourth. You want to play physical? Well, we can answer with it as well. So see what these guys can bring to the table. Will they bring everyone into the fight? I think it's the ideal situation for Pascal Vincent. If he needs to bring it to the table to the whole organization that he absolutely needs to bring Arsenal in to protect the young and smallish kind of players in that lineup. Well, it's the right time to do it. He's ready to go, and I looked at him after the game. After we were in the dressing room, and then when we were going to see Pascal Vincent for his press conference, I saw Vincent. He didn't look at me, but I was pretty much able to read into his head what he was thinking. He was
yeah.
boiling. So I think it's the right time if he's able to play, which I think he is. You bring in the lineup in the fourth on the fourth line, and you aren't asking any question.
I mean, you want to talk about a detractor? Vincent Arsenault is a tractor. I mean, this guy is a bull. He can throw
And he can play. He can
he
play.
can play, exactly. No, he can skate, and that allows him to throw some of those big hits. And of course, we know he's able to fight, and even when he breaks a finger, snaps it back into place and keeps going. This is the kind of player that the Rocket need right now, because in order to beat the Checkers, you're going to have to outwork them, right? They can play the physical style, right? But they work. They're a hard-working team, and they're smart. They're able to bait the Rocket, right? They know that the Rocket is a young team. They're able to bait them. So bringing in a veteran presence, a guy who can outwork the Checkers, and a guy like Luke Tuck as well, whose style is, I mean, it's tailor-made for the playoffs, really. I've really enjoyed what Luke Tuck has brought in the games that he's played. So I think
It's
those
tailor-made
changes,
for a series like that for Luke Tuck.
especially
Against
yeah.
Rochester, I mean, skating wise, he can be exposed sometimes.
Yeah.
Stylistically, was not really a good series for Luke Tuck against Rochester, but against Charlotte, he's a must see in that lineup. I think you need to bring
No
him
doubt.
in.
No doubt about that. But yeah, hopefully, Simoneau and Dauphin are okay, right? Those are some significant losses. I mean, Dauphin was the number one center of the team pretty much all season long, and he's been such an integral part of helping them be the best team in the AHL and get to this point. His presence on the power play, the penalty kill, like he is integral to the success of this team. So hopefully he doesn't join the long list of injured like Witherspoon and Trudeau, and then you got Simoneau as well. Simoneau, I thought he'd really gone into the Checkers' heads. Like he's done his job of being this psychological war missile, essentially. I mean, he's just in their face all the time. He succeeded at that against the Americans. I thought he's been succeeding against the Charlotte Checkers again, but if the Rocket lose him, I mean, they can't afford to replace him with say, I guess a Meshar, if you will, who may bring more offense, but doesn't bring that detracting factor that Simoneau brings. So that's why I think you and I are in agreement that should be Arsenault and Tuck sliding.
What would be what would be your lines when you're 0-2 in that series? What would you bring for game number 3?
Well, I like the idea of Beck as the number one center, and I was talking to like Vincent Demry yesterday about that. I don't know why they keep him on the wing. In the OHL, he was one of the best centers in the entire league. Face-off wise, we know what he can do. Like he is a beast and in the face-off circle, and he can play that physical style of game. He has that offensive ability. It's maybe not as great as some other guys, but he can still put the puck in the back of the net and make plays. I'd like to see him in that spot. I don't know who his wingers could be. I don't know if you break up the Roy, Kapanen, and Farrell line, depending on that. It's kind of hard making new lines, honestly. Did you have a few in mind? I'm assuming you do.
Well, I would try on the first line Beck centering Barré-Boulet and Farrell. So
Okay.
you bring back Farrell with Barré-Boulet. There was legit chemistry between these two during the season. I think you need to come back to something that already worked before this season and even in the playoffs. So I think you can see Barré-Boulet and Farrell playing together with a new centerman and Owen Beck there. So that would be my first line. On the second line, Gignac, Kapanen, and Roy stays the same. I don't think they had a really good game last night, but they were better in the first game. Roy's been pretty good recently, so I think you stay the same. Even I expect I assume that Dauphin is a no-go for Sunday, so he's not there on my first two lines, obviously. We'll see about the Simoneau situation. The guy is a warrior and he will do everything he can to be in that lineup. But if he's not ready to go, I put Jared Davidson on that line with Condotta and Harvey Pinard. He has a good shot. Can he be the kind of player to spice things up offensively for those two? Harvey Pinard, he has some looks, but still haven't scored a goal in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Davidson is a physical guy that can bring a physical presence offensively. And my fourth line, obviously, it's Jacky with Arsenault and Tuck. That's the lineup I would bring for game number 3.
I like it a lot. I like it a lot. And on defense, I mean, I've personally really enjoyed the Engstrom-Lindstrom, the
Yeah.
Swedish pairing. I thought they've worked really well together. And how about the other two? I mean, Reinbacher with Hoffenmeyer, Hayes, and then Mailloux. Like, how would you handle those?
Well, it will depend about the injury situation for Logan Mailloux. Will he be able to play on Sunday? You don't know. I don't think it matters really defensively. We have 3 right shots, 2 left shots. I thought Hayes was really good in game number 5 against Rochester. He was all right in game number 1. It was harder last night for pretty much all the defensemen. So pairings are not really important for me, but I would keep Engstrom and Lindstrom together for sure. It's my first pairing right now, the 2 Swedish.
I agree. And now we're back to it. We're back to the goaltender discussion because, Caden Primo gets 2 games in 2 nights. Bit of a surprise there, and ultimately he gets pulled. So Fowler ends the game. Do you think that Fowler will start game number 3?
Yeah, I expect to see Fowler for Sunday. Not to the detriment of Primo. I don't think he's been he hasn't been good, but I don't think it's been like the player that cost the 2 games.
Right, it's not his fault.
No, I don't think it's his fault. Other things happened on the ice, and it was not a good situation for him. I thought last night only the 3rd goal was a bad one. And then the first 2, what can you do? It's a deflection and a breakaway against the pure goal scorer of John Leonard, 36 goals this year in the AHL. The guy knows how to score goals. So he was all alone in the net, to the net, and he scored. So you got to give him credit. I don't think it's Primo's fault, but 0-2 in a developmental league, you want to see how a young player like Fowler can handle things. I think it's a good spot to bring him in and see how he can handle the pressure and a new environment in Charlotte.
Absolutely. Well, listen, it's 0-2, but the series is not over yet. The Rocket can still get back into it Sunday night in Charlotte. And Anthony, talk to me a little bit about the importance of scoring the first goal, because that's something the Rocket have had a hard time doing, not
All
just
series.
in the series, but in the playoffs as a whole.
Right.
They've always played from behind. And I think Charlotte is one of those teams that is able to hold on to that lead. They know how to play with a lead, and they don't let the Rocket get anything. How important is it to get that first goal on Sunday?
Yeah, I think it's so important. And you're right. We don't know yet how the Checkers will play if they fall behind early in the game. We don't know that yet. So I think it's really important if you get the upper hand, how can you handle things? It's so important. You saw it happen game number 5 against Rochester. We rolled over them because we were able to get the first goal and then hold the ball until the end. I think it would change the whole complexion of the hockey game. I think it starts there. You need to make a push in the first period on Sunday. And if it's not happening, I don't see a way where Laval can come back. But if you start strong and score the first goal, well, we might have a series. Hopefully.
Let's hope so, because we want to keep talking about these playoffs on this show. And we thank you all for tuning in, of course. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you got that notification bell turned on. Make sure you're following us on Twitter as well. SigPod Rocket. Anthony and myself have also our own accounts that you can follow. And please let us know in the comments what lineup changes you would make to the Laval Rocket for game number 3. What do you think they need to do in order to bring this series back? Okay, right now it's not looking good, and game 3 could be the deciding game ultimately. So, Anthony, anything else to add before we get out of here?
Well, I have my luggage to do. We're flying to Charlotte tomorrow morning, 2 days off before game number 3. That will start 4 p.m. in Charlotte. We expect hot temperature there. Don't expect good ice quality in Charlotte. And I think it's important for the team to be on the ice on Saturday afternoon to get a feeling about their new environment on the road. The next 3 games will be there, and it is something that we tend to underappreciate the importance to get a feeling about the environment, the boards, the ice quality. So that's why the team is supposed to practice tomorrow afternoon to be ready for an afternoon game on Sunday.
Oh boy. Yeah, expect some weird bounces and maybe a few toe picks in these next, hopefully, 3 games. So yeah, well, safe travels to you. Enjoy Charlotte. I hear it's a nice city. I hear you enjoy it very much. There's a NASCAR event happening at the same time as well. So do enjoy that. Hopefully you get a better time than the Rocket are having right now. But the series isn't over, and we will not give up. We will not surrender. So that'll do it for us today. For Anthony Marcotte, I'm producer Shane. Thank you to Juliana back at Master Control. This has been another great edition of the Sick Podcast Rocket Report. Let's go Rocket.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast Rocket Report on YouTube, X, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.